It is Monday, August the 10th, and the countdown continues. Look, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep saying it because we are about a month out from the NFL season getting on their way, and we are going to kick off tonight with another division preview featuring the NFC South. So kick back, relax on this humid Monday night because Unbiased is live and it starts right now. Let's go.
Lights flash, crowds alive. Feel the pulse, we're taking flight. Sam and Tyler on the mic, ready to ignite the night. From the track to the field, we're diving into the thrill. No bias in the air, just the sound that gives a chill. Every match, every game, we break it down to the core. Sam and Tyler raise the stakes, always asking for more. Can you feel the heat? This is where we stand. Champions on our feet. We're unbiased, hear the roar. No limits in this game we play. Through the highs and lows, we rise and play the right way. Together we ignite the fire, fueled by every cheer and shout. Unbiased, that's our anthem. No doubt, unbiased, we stand strong. Together we will carry on with every game, with every song. United we belong. Unbiased, unbiased, that's our anthem. No doubt.
How do you not get prepared for a show with an intro like that? Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome into another edition of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio. I see the comment. I already see the comment.
Trying to hold back
Look,
the laugh.
They just ruined my whole intro of what I was going to say. But anyway, welcome back into Unbiased, guys. The NFL countdown continues, and we are here to talk some more NFL football. Our division previews continue tonight with the NFC South, and Zolt and Anthony are already flying in with their comments about tonight's episode. Lowest TV ratings in the conference. This isn't the AFC South, sir. Please show some respect.
Man. Yeah, we went one step above the AFC South. The AFC South was an option.
Wait.
We had to make business decisions, though.
If the AFC South's here, the NFC South's like right here.
Exactly.
It's like an inch.
That's why I said a step above.
But look, we have a lot of other things to talk about tonight. We'll get into some NFL news later in the show. A lot of running backs got their payday last week. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of other stuff that's been going on around the league. We are starting our top 10 list reveals tonight, as tonight we will reveal our top 10 defenses for the 2026 season. Tyler, we did look at them off camera before we start the show. There is some interesting stuff going on in our top 10 list. Our top 6 is kind of identical. Everything back behind it, good luck.
For grabs.
But let's get into our NFC South division preview. And Tyler, I will say yes. The comments are already saying it. It is one of the, let's be honest, it has been one of the weaker divisions in the NFL for a long time now. Even in Orlando, I am not used to Orlando commenting on YouTube, so that's going to take some time for me to get used to.
What's up, Orlando?
Oh, dear.
So Zolt is fired up for multiple reasons.
So I will just say to Zolt, I know your pain. Heat wave of 2024 took mine, and it was not a pretty couple of weeks for the house or the bank account. So trust me, I know your pain.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into this preview, Tyler. The NFC South. It is a division. It's one of the weaker divisions in the league, and I feel like over the past, I'll say at least 2 years, it's been very heavy favorited toward the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I believe that the other 3 teams in this division have improved a lot.
They have. I mean, For me, I'm leaning towards two teams that stand out more to me. I'm still not sold on the Falcons. I gotta see it from one of the quarterbacks. One of the lefties has to show some sign of promise.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I think the thing with the Falcons is I like the team outside of the most important position on the football field. That's the problem. O
Yeah.
line still really good. We know what their skills group can do.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably best running back in football. Drake London, no slouch at wide receiver. Kyle Pitts, all these guys got their paydays this offseason. Defense, Jeff Ulbrich had that unit playing pretty well last year. I think it's going to be pretty damn good again this year. Unfortunately, they are going through, Jalen Walker's going to miss the year, tore his ACL in practice about a week ago.
Yep.
The James Pierce situation, we don't know what's going on with him yet. Secondary, though, should be pretty solid. Got the Terrell brothers,
Mm-hmm.
got Jesse Bates and Xavier Watts.
Oh
That,
yeah.
honestly, if Avion Terrell is a rookie, just plays right off the rip and plays really well, that could
Mm-hmm.
That could be a sneaky good secondary this
Oh,
upcoming year.
It has a lot of potential to be.
Well, like you said, it all depends on the quarterback. And where are you at with the Falcons quarterback situation?
Where am I at? I mean, I think Tua might be the early favorite for QB1, but again, a guy who's never consistently proven himself. A lot of that's been due to health reasons, concussions, you name it. But you really only have one season to gauge him off of, and that was 2023. He actually played the whole year, had 4,600 passing yards, 29 touchdown passes, and he threw 14 interceptions still. So he's not a perfect quarterback. And I don't even know if I can put him in the category of a good quarterback. I think he's average from what we've seen so far throughout his career. Even when he is healthy on the field, he doesn't look like a game changer to me.
I think that's very agreeable. But you're talking about Tua's health issues. Let's not act like Michael Penix has a clean bill of health either.
Yeah, so it's really who's going to play more throughout the season, who's going to be healthier for more parts of the season. Maybe they'll have a committee at quarterback to try and keep these guys healthy. Could you imagine that?
Oh my God, a quarterback by committee. That would be
Quarterback guy committee. Hey, they're both lefties.
Yeah, so you don't have to really adjust too much of the playbook to one side because they're both lefties.
But I think ultimately there may be a chance that we see Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback on a couple Sundays. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything with the Atlanta Falcons. There's going to be some point throughout the season where both quarterbacks are unfit to take the field.
You don't think it? You think it's going to come at the same time? So you have both these guys at one point going to be banged up at the same time?
At one point, both of them will be banged up at the same time. If they're lucky, one of them will be questionable heading into that Sunday. They both just have a terrible, terrible track record. Penix is going into year 3. He's played a total of 14 games. Tua's heading into year 8. And he's only played one full season. And last year, where he played 14 games, he performed worse than when he played like 12 games.
Yeah, that's the other thing you got to look at when it comes to Tua. It's not only just when he hasn't been healthy, but there have been times when he has been healthy where, it has not been pretty. So, yeah, again, I
still feel the Falcons, they're not there yet. I think they whiffed on Penix. It's gonna take a lot for that pick to pan out the way that they wanted to. One part of it is the fact that he needs to stay healthy. He needs to play all 17 games in the season. The other part to that, he can't stink in most of those performances. He needs to be able to make every single throw. I get it. People like to go back and talk about, oh, Washington, he looked great, looked like a polished quarterback, can make any throw you ask him to. In the NFL, I haven't seen him do it.
No, and I will say, you from the night he got drafted, you have never been as high. You have not been high on Michael Penix.
Nope.
You have been consistent with that your entire time for the. Was it been 2 years since he got drafted?
Yeah, 2 years. Every time I see him getting the start, he doesn't convince me. He doesn't look like an elite quarterback.
I don't even know if he's looked like an average quarterback, and that's
that's the problem. And I mean, is it still the pressure that was put on him by the Falcons drafting him a lot higher than many teams had expected? I believe he was expected to go more so towards the tail end of the first round, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
And
but Falcons, it's because Washington had that great run.
Yeah. And the Falcons, they just decided, okay, after we get our guy in Kirk Cousins, let's go draft the future. And that future has been dark.
I agree. Real quickly, Zolt said this division will be more competitive than it has been. It's just still a step below than the other divisions talent-wise. Oh, Zolt, completely agree. It's still... There's still a lot that has to go into this division for it to be compared to the others. Anthony said, I'm at the point I'm not drafting nobody on the Falcons because
Bijan,
I don't trust
and that's it.
Basically, yeah. You could take Bijan, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. His contract, Anthony, let's see. He's going into year 3. He has a 5th-year option for being a first-round pick, right?
Yeah, but
they're not going to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to exercise that at this point. So realistically, you're looking at this season and the next one.
He has 2 more guaranteed years on his contract.
And realistically, this year is the year. I mean, if he does somehow get the starting job week 1, if he's healthy enough to do it, he really needs to play well the entire season. Because if not, I don't know if they're going to go into next year considering him for anything. They might just say, okay, you're a backup quarterback, that's it.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have signed Tua if they had all their faith in Penix.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that you need a backup quarterback, but there is a reason that they signed Tua, who has plenty of starting experience and is a left-handed quarterback. They want to run the same style of offense. That's why they have 2 lefty quarterbacks. However, like you said, I was high on the Falcons when they went into Minnesota last year and they won that game on the road early in the season. I was high. I was like, okay, Falcons showed something. Penix played pretty well. But since then, it's been nothing.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because they have some of the more talented skills players in the league. I mean, Bijan, like we said, one of the top running backs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Drake London, in my opinion, is at worst, a top 15 wide receiver, depending on where you put him.
And their offensive line. They have probably one of the more premier groups in the league with Matthew Bergeron, Jake Matthews, Chris Lindstrom, whatever's left of Jawan Taylor.
Well, yeah, that's because their starting right tackle retired. So,
yep. Mm-hmm.
But no, it's a division that they should be one of the heavy favorites if they have the quarterback situation figured out, and they haven't. That's pretty accurate. It is accurate.
Like I said, I would not be shocked if at one point in the season they are both out. It could be for 1 week. There's going to happen at some point.
Now, how much does the hire of Kevin Stefanski change anything for this Falcons team to you? Do you still think that he can fix some of these issues that they've had?
Well, I mean, I'll go back to Stefanski's early days in Cleveland. He
Yeah,
actually
that's never
brought
good.
them. No, he actually brought them some of their more promising times in the last 30 years. I mean,
Oof.
they made the playoffs at one point.
And he's been coach of the year twice out there.
Yeah, so I definitely his time came to a screeching halt in Cleveland. I think Zolt can attest to that. But he still is a good offensive mind. I just don't know that I trust that he's able to fix either of these quarterbacks. Maybe if there's one that he could, it might be Tua. Because didn't they traded for Tua after they brought in Stefanski?
They
So,
signed Tua. They didn't trade
oh
for
well,
Tua. They
they
signed
signed,
him.
yeah, but they brought him in after they had Stefanski.
They signed.
So
Yeah, they signed
yeah,
Tua like the first day of free agency.
they definitely. I think Stefanski really wanted Tua. He wanted to try to get a second shot at him to try and make him, what everyone thought he was going to turn into. Kind of in, you know, I guess an elite game manager, if that's a thing, that a title that we can put on people. Not an elite quarterback like Allen or Mahomes or you know any of them or even Herbert, but a game manager that is better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
There's a Jimmy Garoppolo reference on this show. I've seen it all. We're talking Jimmy G.
Hey man, he took him to a Super Bowl, didn't he? Well, not him directly, but he was there. He managed his way to
Yeah.
it. Didn't manage the game well, but
But yeah, I still think a lot of this has to do with Tua coming in is a very big kind of a push on Michael Penix. But again, Penix has the knee issue already that he's recovering from. So this whole situation is
I need to ask. So then, what about Jim Schwartz? We can't fairly judge him for what he did in Cleveland.
well, no, because the Browns actually know how to draft defensive players. They just can't get the quarterback position right. But I think Stefanski will be fine in Atlanta. Again, if one of these quarterbacks can stay healthy and play most of the season, I'll be optimistic. Most of the season,
Yeah, because
the
what they
defense
really
has the
need,
talent.
they need the consistency from one of them. You
Yeah,
can't go
and
back and forth how they started Kirk. He didn't play well. He was battling injuries. Then they put in Penix during his rookie year. Then the next year, Kirk rode the bench to start the year. Penix played. Penix didn't look good. Penix got hurt. Then Kirk finished the year. They just need a consistent starter. Whether it is Penix, even though I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, if he at least can play the whole year and maybe build chemistry with the offense, any sort of consistency is better than what they've been dealing with.
yeah, and again, I don't really care who the starter is, as long as one of them can play to a decent quality, then they'll be fine because they have the talent around the rest of the football of the football field.
Yeah.
You have the talent around that football field. You have Bijan. You have Drake London on the defensive side. You have young defensive linemen like Pierce. Again, we have to wait and see what's going on with him this year. Will he be suspended at all for his off the field issues? We have to wait and see. Jalen Walker, unfortunately, is going to miss the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Secondary, I'm so high on that Falcons secondary. It's kind of scary, and I don't think I've ever said that about a Falcons secondary that I'm very high on it, but I am. Like, I am so high on it. We know how I feel about Jesse Bates, one of the best safeties I've ever watched. We know how I felt about Xavier Watts in that draft. I said he was
Mm-hmm.
probably maybe the second or third best safety in the entire draft.
Yeah.
This is the most
Oh,
accurate comment of the
a
night.
big reason for that is they lost their franchise quarterback, who's going to be a Hall of Famer.
When it goes into the comment,
It
it has been
does. It
consistent
does.
since then.
Yeah. Because that unfortunately was about the same time period when he was winding down his career.
But back onto the Falcons defense again. I think this team's going to have, again, Jeff Ulbrich. I'm high on his defense. Had him playing pretty well last year. The front seven has a lot of work to do because, again, they got to mask up with the injuries and some other things going on. But I think that secondary can play. The Terrell brother, A.J. Terrell's already one of the more premier corners in the league. Is he top 5? No. Is he top 10? Maybe around the outside.
Yeah.
But he's still one of the better corners in football. We watched his brother play at Clemson. That boy can play. Avion can play.
Can.
And you got two safeties back there that do one thing well together, and that's take the football away. Anthony, haven't they already started this? Why is this a news bulletin? This has already started.
If they stack the box, they're just going to throw Bijan out wide.
That team will go as far as Bijan's legs can take them this year.
Basically.
Because I'm not high on the Falcons this year. The quarterback situation is too concerning. The defense will keep them in a lot of games, but I don't know if the quarterback position will be consistent enough to win them a lot of meaningful games. I just don't. I mean, you're asking who? You literally have two identical quarterbacks, two lefties who have two issues: inconsistency issues and durability issues. One does not have a different issue than the other. They are both inconsistent and have durability problems. That's what you're looking at with the quarterbacks of the Atlanta Falcons. That's the biggest thing. And if Kevin Stefanski thought life is going to get better moving from Cleveland to Atlanta, sadly mistaken. I think Stefanski could do a good job in Atlanta, but one of those quarterbacks has to be on the field for that to happen. But here's a good question. Will the Falcons have a new starting quarterback in 2027?
You know, I don't feel like I can answer that right now. Because currently, Tua's healthy. Until he's not healthy, I can't really say. I mean, I'm looking at it from this perspective. He still did play 14 games last year. He only missed 3. I get it. Would they need a consistent 17? Maybe 16 if they get a chance to rest at the last week of the season, which is not going to happen because this division's going all the way to the first team to 9 wins. That's right. I'm putting in my ballot. It's not going to be the first team to 8 wins. It's going to be the first one to 9. But I don't know if I could say it because Tua could have a solid year. Let's say Tua plays 16 games. Let's say he gets 70% completion mark. Touchdowns, say 25 passing. And if he can keep the interceptions under double digits, if he can cap it at like 9 interceptions over the course of the year, I think he has a solid shot at the Falcons saying, all right, let's try to build off of this another year with him as the starter.
Give him like a very team-friendly 2-year extension maybe and see what works. Because, I mean, the 27 quarterback class is loaded.
Yeah, it is.
But what does that – well, if you're the Falcons, what's that make you look like after you just drafted Penix 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Or, we could just listen to Zolt here and say that they will have Aaron Rodgers who decides he doesn't want to retire.
That'd be hilarious. But no, I think Aaron's not going back. And I don't think he'd go to Atlanta if he did.
I think I would personally just do a pop-up episode of Unbiased if Aaron Rodgers decided to jump out of retirement and just decide that he wanted to play for the Atlanta Falcons. I think I just pop up on a random Wednesday and just sit here and laugh about it for an hour. All right, let's move on to another team in this division, and that's the New Orleans Saints. Now,
get a little more optimistic.
I will tell you right now, not only I'm going to kick this one off because not only
better not steal what I got to say.
not only are the Saints my favorite team to win this division, they're my sleeper team in the NFL this year. Not in the NFC, in the NFL. They are my sleeper team. I am
Really?
extremely high on what Kellen Moore is building in New Orleans. It took him a long time to get that head coaching job. Of course, it had to come when he was the offensive coordinator for freaking Philly. But I'm extremely high on what they've done. I think Tyler Shuck showed enough to where he has earned the opportunity to be a full-time starter.
He is the full-time starter. Spencer Rattler and Zach Wilson are nowhere. They're not even light years to competing. Yes, that's right.
I'm sorry. I knew Spencer
Yes.
Rattler. I'm sorry. Who was
You
their
heard, you
quarterback?
heard that
Oh,
correctly.
dear.
You heard that correctly. He's looking for his Geno Smith or Sam Darnold moment. That's what he's looking for.
Yeah, that's not happening. But no, when Shuck took over last year, I mean, look, he had a 91.3 passer rating, threw for over 2,300, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks, 67.6 completion percentage last year from Tyler Shuck, which for a rookie, very impressive.
Yeah, I know we did a big disservice and did a lot of clowning on him for coming out of Louisville. He wasn't really. We didn't think he was better than a lot of the other quarterbacks. Even Dylan Gabriel. We said Dylan Gabriel.
I don't think we went that far.
No, I think we did.
No, I don't think we did.
I think we did.
If anything, we clowned the Gabriel pick because we're like, come on, dude, look, the Shador Sanders stuff was getting old at the time. I don't think we went that far.
We may have.
I don't remember going that far.
We may have. But anyways, we didn't give him enough credit. And what'd he do? Didn't get the starting job right away. But once he did, and they threw him out there, looked like Kellen Moore found his new weapon. So I think he's going to build off of that solid end of that first year. And I think the Saints overall, like you said, they've been building. And they've been building before Kellen Moore got there. But it's only gotten better. I mean, offensive line, you got, Kelvin Banks, is he going into his second year?
I believe so, yeah.
He's going into his second year. They get Tylese Fuaga, one of the better tackles in this draft. They
signed David Edwards from the Bills.
David Edwards. They got Eric McCoy in there, Cesar Ruiz.
The O-line's looking pretty damn good.
The O-line looks really, really good. And then you go over to their skill position. They retain Kamara, keep the old veteran Swiss Army knife back there. They went out, snagged Travis Etienne Jr.
It's not Achan?
What's up?
It's not Travis Achan?
No.
Like he says it is?
No, it's not. He's still Etienne.
He's Travis Etienne to me. I will never call him Travis Achan.
Yep. And then the receiving group brought back Chris Olave. Love that. Went out and drafted Jordan Tyson, one of the splashier players with the injury history in the draft.
Have you seen the practice tape videos from him?
Mm-hmm.
The route running is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if that wasn't good enough, you got reliable Juwan Johnson as your tight end. A nice little safety blanket for Tyler Shuck.
Honestly, their tight end room is actually pretty deep because behind Johnson, you bring in Noah Fant, who could be a pretty solid number 2 tight end as a receiver.
Yep.
And they drafted Oscar Delp out of Georgia.
Oh, that's right.
They've got a pretty good group of skill position players, and they are, between that and beefing up the O-line, like you said, they have Banks and Fuaga at the tackle positions, which we know when building an offensive line, as long as you got those 2 bookends, you're off to a good start. McCoy and Cesar Ruiz are very serviceable interior guys, but getting David Edwards away from the Bills, who he helped the Bills solidify what was one of the better O-lines in the NFL last year, getting him to play one of those guard spots now, I'm high on this team, man. I just am. And with Kellen Moore, Y'all picked the Saints to win like 3 games last year. They overachieved last year.
They did.
And again, back to the Tyler Shuck thing. Like we said, we clowned the pick. We thought we were like, what are the Saints doing? I'll be the first one. I was one of the first guys that said that. We have to start learning ever since, and this goes back to ever since Bo Nix was picked by Denver. If a head coach likes a quarterback for his system, George has said it on when he's been on this show with us 1,000 times. It ain't about talent, it's about system. Does this quarterback fit my system? Kellen Moore realized that Tyler Shuck fits his system, and he went with him. And he played damn well towards the end of last season. They gave it to Spencer Rattler early because he was, the proven veteran. I don't want to put a big
I wouldn't
emphasis
say
on
proven. Let's just leave it at veteran.
Yeah, we'll say that. No, there wasn't much proven there, but still. And now Shuck comes over last year. As a rookie, you're completing almost 70% of your passes. I mean, that's damn impressive to be doing that, to be almost completing 70% of your passes midway through the season when you weren't even the full-time starter. So I'm high on this Saints team. I really am. I think they may win. I think they're my division favorites. I really do. They are one of my favorites going into the NFL this year. I think they're one of my sleeper teams.
And I mean, we didn't even make any mention to their defense. I mean, they're bringing back Cameron Jordan off of a 10-plus sack year last year. Carl Granderson had, was it an 8-sack year, I believe? No, 6 sacks. Chase Young, the man they extended after they traded for him, had 10 sacks last year. And not to mention the contribution. Yeah, exactly. The contributions from all the other guys within that defensive line room. Their linebackers, they can play. Caden Ellis, Pete Warner, very good guys in coverage.
Ellis had 3 really good years in Atlanta now, and he's and actually he started his career with the Saints in 2019. So,
and then you got Kool-Aid McKinstry, again another up and coming corner in the league. Probably fit him in a top 15 conversation. Justin Reed, Julian Blackman.
Did you also see who they had in for a visit today?
Who's that?
Terrion Arnold.
Oh.
I don't know. Look, I'm not going to comment on this stuff live on my show because I try to keep all the off the field stuff to a minimum. I like to talk about strictly stuff on the football field. How do you have those type of charges and you are getting visits with teams already?
I don't know.
But then again, somebody did make a good point. If the Saints want to get some, it's like, remember when the Eagles drafted Jalen Carter? Who knew him better than Jordan Davis? Well, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold were teammates at Alabama, so
I still would have waited to see what happened with the charges first.
Well, well, again, he didn't get signed. It was only a visit, but
I know.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't think the Saints' defense is like world beaters. I don't think they're going to be one of the top tier defenses in the league. I still think there's a lot of groundwork to be done there. Yeah. But offensively, I think they could go toe to. If Tyler Shuck takes a big leap in year 2, I think they could go toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah, and honestly, and they don't need a top defense. I think their defense with the players they have is just going to be gritty enough to win them games. As long as they get good play out of that offensive unit.
Anthony, the reason that Kellen Moore never became a coach in Dallas because it's the Dallas Cowboys. That's why.
Yeah, people wonder why it took him so long to get a head coaching job. He had to win a Super Bowl to get a head coaching job.
What, 2 offensive coordinators now the Knicks gotten head coaching jobs for? But according to Bleacher Report, he's on the hot seat again.
Okay. No, of course he is.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
Maybe he just has a seat warmer.
You know, if we kept the same energy for every other NFL coach, Bill Belichick was on the hot seat like every single year in New England. But no, there was the big reason why Kellen Moore never got a shot in Dallas. McCarthy and him had some issues with how the offense should have been run. Then they ultimately got rid of Kellen Moore. McCarthy took over the offense. Then, of course, they fired McCarthy shortly after. Then Kellen goes to LA for a year, spends it with the Chargers, comes to Philly, and now he's a head coach. So, and again, and Anthony, that's the thing. The point of of your question right there. Why did it take so long? Look what he did last year with a group that it still really wasn't up to the top tier standards of the league, but still they overachieved with little going for them. We all projected the Saints to be one of the worst teams of football last year.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying again with their skill positions, that what Olave and Tyson, the floor is there because of the injury concerns with both. Oh man, is that ceiling high?
Yeah.
I mean, you got two guys. You got a kid out of Arizona who is just entering the league in his early 20s. Chris Olave is only 26.
Mm-hmm.
I am extremely high on this Saints offense. And I am really high on that running back room, too.
Oh, yeah.
Think we can see a little, I'm not going to say the full resemblance. You think we can see a little resemblance of what we saw before with Kamara and Ingram?
I think that's what they're probably banking on, yeah.
I mean, Kamara's a lot older now, so I'm not, that's why I'm saying a little bit, because
I think that's what they're hoping to replicate.
If Kamara's like that third down pass catcher, that's not a problem. I mean, having ETN there is going to keep him fresh.
Yep.
Yeah, I am extremely high on this Saints team going into this season. I really am. Because I just think they've done a hell of a job this offseason. They've put Tyler Shuck in a position to succeed. They beefed up the offensive line. They brought in more skills players. Mm-hmm. I really think this Saints team could take off this year. I honestly think. I have to look at their schedule, but I'm high on their win total. I don't know what their win total is set at for the year, but.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, we ain't there yet. We're almost there. All right, Tyler, where would we like to go to Carolina next and talk about them?
Let's go to Carolina.
Another team who I think really improved over the offseason. In some areas. Some areas I'm kind of disappointed they didn't keep Rico Dowdle. I thought him and Chuba really established.
Oh, yeah.
I think they should have done a good job of keeping Dowdle a little more. I thought they should have made a better effort.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the rest of the running back room outside of Chuba, and look, Chuba last year, I mean, he only started 6 games. He appeared at 15. But Rico Dowdle easily kind of took over that RB1 spot from him last year.
He did. I mean, part of it you can attribute to, yes, Chuba Hubbard missed a few games, and he was dealing with some nagging injuries. But ultimately, they paid Chuba Hubbard to be their guy. And then they had Rico Dowdle come in, supposed to be, take some pressure off of Chuba, RB2, and he had his great season. But they weren't going to go and pay a second running back. Just wasn't going to make sense. What's going on, Dennis?
Yes, what's up, Dennis? But who's their RB2 now? I mean, if you look at the notable ones on their roster, I mean,
well,
Trevor
if he stays healthy, Jonathan Brooks.
I knew you were going to go there.
I mean, it's been unfortunate so far in his career. I think unfortunate is an understatement. But I remember watching him play at Texas. He can run. If he can stay healthy and get back to playing as an RB2 now behind Chuba Hubbard, that right there is their 1-2 punch. And that's what they're really banking on. They're really hoping for him to come back healthy and be the player that they were expecting when they took him in the second round. And they also went out, got themselves a Georgia Bulldog, Trevor Etienne.
Come on, you know the real RB2 is A.J. Dillon. Come on.
AJ Dillon, I think he makes the roster.
Oh, dear God.
I think he does.
He had 3 carries for 18 yards and a touchdown in the Hall of Fame game against Arizona last week.
It's funny, actually. Trevor Etienne got featured more, had 20 carries, 94 yards. Hey, he might actually bump him off the roster. AJ Dillon might be looking for a new team in a couple weeks.
Who knows, man? I don't.
And no
I got
respect to
nothing.
AJ Dillon. I think he could still be a good RB3 on a team that needs him.
Yeah, I respect AJ Dillon when he doesn't fumble at the 10-yard line in MetLife last year. We
Okay,
were there.
that's true. There was a lot more than that play.
I know, but I'm
That was
still
the
not over it.
downfall at MetLife. The fact he
I'm
was
not.
on the field over Saquon in that moment was the main problem.
Well, remember, this is before we had tanks, so that's a big reason why.
Yeah.
Now, as for the Panthers pass catchers, I'm a little higher on this group than a lot of people. Of course, we know what Ted McMillan's going to bring. I think Jalen Coker is positioned to have a big year.
He is. He's building off of his season last year. He's going to be the clear wide receiver too. I also think they kind of like John Mechie as their wide receiver 3. Xavier Legette, he's got some work to do, I think. I don't know how much the Panthers trust him to be consistent in that offense.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the other problem with the Panthers, though, they've also been snake bitten by injuries so far in training camp.
Yeah, unfortunately. Got
I mean, Nick Scorton went down the first week.
yeah. Brazel, the rookie, he's on
Yep,
IR.
and he's out for the year with an LCL tear that he just opted to have surgery on. And Brazel was the guy I think that was going to come in and kind
Oh
of be
yeah,
that wide receiver 3,
yeah.
opposite of Coker and McMillan. So now it's kind of between those other guys, like you said, Mechie,
That would have been a
Leggett.
huge receiving room. McMillan 6'5", Coker 6'3", Brazel 6'4".
Brazel was really good last year at Tennessee.
He was.
And
So
their
Carolina,
tight end room is solid.
Carolina's going to hinge a lot on can they stay healthy.
Well, hey, if they just get Jalen Coker through training camp, that's already a plus. That dude's had he literally has only played 11 games in each of his first 2 years because both years in the during training camp, he suffered a quad injury. Both years.
They probably wrapped him in bubble wrap.
Yeah, well, hey, no, what they did is wrap them up in a 3-year, $35 million extension back in early June. So, like I said, if Coker stays healthy, I think him, McMillan, if Hubbard comes back and has the year that he had in 2024, if that's the Chuba Hubbard you get, good shape. And their tight ends, not the worst group. Mitchell Evans out of Notre Dame last year, Tommy Tremble. I think those two could be a decent tight end 1 and 2 punch. Their O-line is pretty damn solid still.
I
Their
got a question for
defense.
you
Shoot.
about the O-line. Do you think Monroe Freeling's going to get day 1 starting job at right tackle?
With some of their tackles missing with significant health issues, yes, I do. That's why they drafted him. I think Monroe Freeling does start week 1. I know they brought Rasheed Walker in to bolster their tackle depth in free agency, but no, I do. I believe Monroe Freeling will easily be a starter come week 1, without a doubt. I am very. You want to talk about Sam's draft guys? One of my guys was Monroe Freeling.
I know.
I didn't care. I didn't
I
care
have to
about the
hear
lack
it
of
every
starting
week.
experience at college.
Every week.
I didn't care about the lack of starting experience at the collegiate level. The talent translates. What I saw on the tape will translate. Monroe Freeling will be a very good tackle in this league. And then, look, if we continue to go over Carolina over to the defensive side, they got better and a lot better.
They did.
Now, once again, they're having some issues with the injuries. Derek Brown has been missing from practice with some knee soreness, so that's something to keep an eye on. But You want to talk about a front seven that got extremely better? Drafting Lee Hunter in the second round, easily one of the best interior defensive linemen in this draft, helped lead that Texas Tech Red Raiders defense last year, which we know how good that Red Raiders defensive line was.
Yep.
Then you go over to the pass rushing spot. You get Jalen Phillips, who had a productive year last year between the Dolphins and the Eagles. So I'm extremely that I look. I wish the Eagles would have kept Jalen Phillips, but Panthers gave him a lot of money.
They did.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to match all of it, but we're okay. We still got Jonathan Grenard, so I'm chilling. Then you get Devin Lloyd, who coming off a really good year in Jacksonville. Of course, he got that 3-year, $45 million deal with Carolina. Coming off a season, 74 tackles, 5 interceptions
Yep.
from the middle linebacker spot. Look at their secondary. J.C. Horn, one of the better corners in football, guy who doesn't get nearly the amount of respect that he should. Got Trevon Moehrig, that safety. Very solid year last year, had over 100 tackles. They, honestly, Nick Scott, full-time starter last year, 109 tackles. So those safeties get upfield and they ain't afraid to tackle you. I'm also very high on Zakee Wheatley, who had a very good Hall of Fame game. I think he had like 9 total tackles in the game.
I was waiting to hear the name.
I love Zakee Wheatley. We know this. Mike Jackson, their corner 2 from last year, the 29-year-old had a really good year. 68 tackles, 4 interceptions last year, playing opposite of J.C. Horn now. Those two have been the corner duo there for 2 years now. I'm high on this Panthers defense, man. I think their defense is going to be really good.
They do. Got to see how it all comes together. Still very upset about the injury to what's his name?
Nick Scorton.
Nick Scorton.
I think he would have been playing opposite of Jalen Phillips, and I think they would have been wreaking havoc on opposing offensive lines this year because Scorton had a really good rookie year last year.
He did. Yep. So now so you're leaning a lot on Derek Brown, Jalen Phillips to really get after the quarterback for you.
But now the biggest question mark with Carolina is, what Bryce Young are you getting? Am I getting the Bryce Young that I saw after the benching last year? Or am I going to get the Bryce Young that got benched last year?
I don't think we're going to see a regress from Bryce Young. I mean, ever since that did happen, all he did was play very consistently through the remainder of the season. And actually got this team to, they won their division, did they not? They won the tiebreaker?
I think they did last year.
I think they won the tiebreaker.
Amazing. Yeah, they did. Oh, yeah, because the Bucks had a meltdown at the end of the season.
Yeah. Yep. But the one thing I would like to see out of Bryce Young, which will really determine how well the team plays overall this year, I need the completion percentage to go up. He had his career best 63.6 last year, and that number needs to be closer to 68, 69. I'm not asking for the full jump all the way up to 70. That's a tall task. But usually the solid NFL average you'll see from the more premier quarterbacks, about 68, 69%.
The fact that Tyler Shuck hit that in his first year is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
No, and again, this is the same Bryce Young last year that went toe-to-toe with the Rams in the playoffs and honestly had him in a good spot to win that game, except Panthers defense couldn't get off the field.
Yep.
And that's why they ultimately chose this offseason to go out and beef up that defense. Go get another good, excellent pass rusher in Jalen Phillips. Go and get Devin Lloyd, a playmaker at that middle linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think what you saw, Bryce Young is the stereotypical point of you don't have to start day one just because you're the number 1 overall pick. And I think that's the mistake the Panthers realized that they made.
Well, yeah, considering that he got sacked 62 times.
Exactly. But they just because you draft a kid number 1 overall doesn't mean that they have to immediately start. You can have a kid sit and develop for a few weeks before you throw him into the fire.
Yeah.
And after that benching last year, you saw a different Bryce Young, and he played really, really well down the stretch and helped the Panthers get into the playoffs. And I think that they're in a very good position. If he stays and keeps that consistent level that we saw at the end of last year, I think this could easily be a 2-team race in the NFC South between the Saints and the Panthers. I don't think Atlanta has the consistent quarterback play to compete in this division. And now let's move over to the last team. I don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay.
I'm glad we saved Tampa Bay for last. The
Because,
team which should have been the favorite.
well, they've been the heavy favorites in this division for a couple of years now.
They've been the lock for years. Going back to when Brady was there. But I don't know what's going on. This year is going to be a very telling year. Obviously, it's not good that Vita Vea wants out. They got that lingering over them.
Baker Mayfield has cut off contract negotiations with the team.
Oh, dear God, I didn't hear that. Yikes.
Yep. It's because they didn't meet his deadline. So let's just put that out there.
His deadline. What in the world does that mean? Do I even want to know?
It's that was the deadline he wanted a new contract, and they didn't give it to him. So now he's cut off negotiations. So
Okay.
let's recap what's happened since over the winter. They had a meltdown at the end of the season to lose the division to Carolina.
Yep.
One of the faces of the franchise left in free agency and now is in San Francisco. Because I don't care what you say about Mike Evans, he will go down as one of the probably 10 greatest players in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if you disagree with me on that, then I don't know what
they should have kept him in the building.
So he's now in San Francisco. The best player on the defense wants to be traded. The starting quarterback you have not given a new deal to now is basically at a war with the front office. Not to mention, you lost some other pretty solid players as well, including Jamel Dean, going over to Pittsburgh, because that's a big loss, too.
That is a big loss.
Yeah. Now see, Anthony, this is the definition of a coach on the hot seat.
Yeah, this is the hot seat.
And it's not hot because it's 106 in Tampa Bay in October. But Tampa Bay is going, in my opinion, on a downward trajectory right now.
They're headed, dare I say, towards rebuild territory. And I don't mean full on rebuild, but I think there's going to be some bad years before they get back to some good ones. Like, honestly, they may have the fallout with Baker. Baker might leave. I could totally see that happening. They do that. It's going to take them a little while to figure out the quarterback position again. Because, I mean, they haven't figured it out. They got lucky Tom Brady wanted to come sightseeing for a couple of years.
It's just lucky that Tom Brady wanted warm weather.
Yeah.
So we have that lovely tan for his Fox debut.
Yeah. And then they ultimately took the chance with Baker. It worked out for him. But, I mean, letting Mike Evans walk. Yes, Emeka Egbuka emerged last year as a star receiver. He's very talented. He's going to have a really good year in year 2. They're really hoping Godwin comes back fully healthy, ready to go this year. Yeah, that look was deserved.
That's coming from one of the biggest Godwin guys that you know.
And then another guy. Everything Tampa Bay is doing, they're taking a chance. Jalen McMillan. Another guy can't stay healthy. But if he could play a whole 17-game season, he could easily be the wide receiver 2 behind Egbuka.
Oh, don't sleep on Tez Johnson. He had a big...
I'm not sleeping on Tez Johnson. I was getting to Tez Johnson because I was actually one of the few people who said that he was in line to have a bigger year last year with Chris Godwin missing all that time throughout the season. And he did. 16 games, 28 catches, 322 yards, 5 touchdowns. If McMillan can't stay healthy, Tez Johnson's taking the wide receiver 2 job.
I think that's their wide receiver duo for the future. I think it's going to be a combination of Tez and Ibuka. And if McMillan can still carve out that role, maybe him and Tez are kind of like the 2 and 3. But
Yeah.
you saw Tez Johnson's speed at Oregon. Speed in this league translates, and his speed is you can't guard it.
Tampa also did take Ted Hurst out of Georgia State in the 3rd round, so they're obviously a little high on him. In his 2 years in college, he almost put up a combined 2,000 receiving yards.
Yeah. What's up, John?
What's going on?
Oh, John, we remember John, you were blowing up the NFC West chat with Nad. You guys were going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's the one thing Tampa does have going for them. At least they do have a very solid group of pass catchers.
Now we just gotta hope Baker stays healthy. And for Baker Mayfield, when I say stay healthy, I don't just mean play all the games in a year, because he will play all the games in a year. But he'll be like 80%, 75% of his full health playing in those games.
That is true.
So, yeah, I'll give it to him. He's a battler. He's a warrior. But there's a limit to it as well. You know, we need him to be close to 100% so he can recreate that 2024 season where he had 71.4% completion percentage. He had 4,500 passing yards. He had 41 touchdowns. That was the year where we were like, okay, the Buccaneers are a really good team, and they can compete with some of these top offenses. And then, you know, Godwin's hurt. Mike Evans misses most of the season. Ibuka's out there on his own as a rookie, essentially.
With a hamstring injury.
Not the substation. Oh, no.
John, you, Nad, and everybody else from that NFC West preview show, you guys made that show so fun for us. We had such a great time talking with all you.
That was a great show.
John, hang around, though. Your Seahawks may be coming up in this show in a few minutes. We're unveiling some top 10 defenses for 2026. So your Seahawks are probably going to come up in conversation in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But back to what you were saying about Tampa, I'm just not high on them this year. Like I said, the collapse down the stretch last year, the best player on the defense wants out. The quarterback doesn't have a contract. The wide receiver group looks good, but they got to stay healthy, and they all had durability issues last year. I'm just not high on them as I used to be this year. And I think personally, now again, Atlanta is maybe an exception because we don't know what happens with the quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
I could make the case that all 3 of those other teams are better than Tampa. But like I said, Atlanta's kind of the outlier because I don't know about the quarterback. So, but you're telling me, I don't think Tampa Bay right now is currently better than the Saints.
I have no reason to say that, yeah.
And I don't think they're better than Carolina currently constructed.
Defensively, I haven't liked Tampa Bay's defense in years.
And it's getting worse.
It is. And, okay, they went out, drafted Ruben Bain. He's going to be really good.
Oh, yeah.
But if Vita Vea wants out, where does this leave the future of their defense? Again, they're going to have to go through a rebuild of some sort.
Yeah, like the only other guy I'm extremely high on outside of Ruben Bain, Benjamin Morrison, the corner for Notre Dame. I think if he stays healthy, I think he could be a very productive corner. But yeah, I'm not very high on Tampa Bay right now.
Winfield's still one of the better safeties in the league as well.
He'll be traded by the next offseason. He'll be traded.
Exactly. If they're gonna have to rebuild and get younger, he's 27. He's gonna be out. Vita Vea is gonna be gone. Who else? They'll probably
Anzalone.
Yeah, Anzalone. They brought him in, I guess, as a Band-Aid. they'll probably let Yaya Diaby walk. He had 7 sacks last year as well.
Levante David's retired.
Yep. So Tampa's got to
And
turn a
see,
new leaf here.
this is the problem with this is how locker rooms. This is why locker rooms start becoming an issue because Mike Evans, longtime tenure Buccaneer team captain, Levante David's been one of the leaders of that
Oh
defense
yeah,
for a long
he
time.
was the leader of that defense.
Now, this is where it gets interesting on how many of these guys, those voices leave the locker room, what happens. Because
Yep.
if you don't have the leaders to
Mhm.
replace those guys, you could be in trouble.
And then your other tenured guy in Vita Vea wants out, so he's basically checked out. So what's he really going to do for you?
Vita Vea, he's not only checked out, he's probably shopping for houses. And I mean, all he wants is a new deal. And Tampa doesn't seem like they're willing to do it. So
Yep.
let's see if Vita Vea is even a buck by the end of the training camp. This show's going to be completely different. This show could be completely different if we do that.
Mm. I mean, the Bucks maybe they are prepared for these growing pains, and they're trying to shed their older veterans to get younger. I mean, they let who was the running back behind Bucky Irving last year?
Rashad White,
Rashad White. They
he's
let
in
him go.
Washington.
Yeah. They brought in Kenny Gainwell, cheaper option.
Hey, Kenny had a good year in Pittsburgh. He caught like
He
75
did.
passes last
Yeah.
year.
But if you think about it, eventually Chris Godwin's not going to be on this team. I don't know when his contract's up. He's not going to be on the team. Their future receiving room is going to most likely be Ibuka, Johnson, Hurst, and McMillan.
Anthony, if Vita Vea is traded before week 1, they've already lost the division. And you know what, John? I'm glad you just brought this up because I want to say this about Tampa. Do you know how much it must burn Tampa Bay that they've held on to Todd Bowles and they've seen the success that Dave Canales and Liam Cohen are having?
Mm-hmm.
But you see, the problem is when you have a head coach that makes the playoffs, and then you ultimately say, "Well, this guy's getting so many interviews around the league. Maybe we should have him as our head coach." You know how bad teams are afraid of backlash for firing somebody.
Yep.
Did you really expect Todd Bowles to consistently have the Bucks as a contender? Because I did.
No. Because I remember Todd Bowles with the Jets.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry, I had to bring it up.
That is more unfair. That is worse than what Fighting Philly said earlier. That you want to talk about unfairly judging somebody? You cannot fairly judge anybody for things that they've done with the New York Jets.
Fair enough.
But
Example, Muhammad Salah. Or Robert Salah.
what did you call him?
I called him a soccer player.
Oh, it's Tyler. It's definitely Monday.
It's Monday.
But no, I just really think that, like, I think was it Anthony? Yeah, Todd Bowles that seat is hot. It ain't because of the Tampa Bay weather. I think I think Tampa's kind of lost stranglehold on this division.
He Bowles might get fired midseason.
Anthony, you can say whatever you want in the comments. If we deem it you can say whatever you want. And look, if it's too bad, I won't post it on the screen, but I'll make sure that you get your grievances over the air. I always make sure that, again, Anthony, we are the voice of the people, but you guys are the voice of 609. We can sit here all day and talk sports, but you guys in the comments right now, that's the show. This is what makes the show.
Yep. John, I don't think
John,
Baker's going to be on the team in the next. When does his contract run out? Is it the end of
this year?
This season?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a free agent this season. At the end.
Yeah. Because they've already said that. He already said the Bucks did not meet my deadline, so now I'm cutting negotiations.
Yeah. So you could tell he wants out too. I mean, this team, he sees the trajectory that they're heading towards. Baker's trying to go somewhere where he can win. At one point, it looked like that could have been Tampa. Now it's not. Wow. I mean, I
Anthony,
get it, Anthony. But
here's where I got you. Well, first of all, let me also put John's comment real quick because I think this is hilarious. No snowflakes here. That's kind of funny. Anthony, Wes Welker, during his healthy time in the NFL, was one of the best slot receivers in the league. With the way that a lot of tight ends now line up in the slot, I kind of understand it, but that's the only bit of optimism I'm giving you. I have no idea how a 5'9" slot receiver could coach tight ends.
I'm sure he's going to get some pointers from Gronk. Could you imagine he has Gronk as like guest appearing at a few practices?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Unfortunately, Anthony, your Commanders are going to come up in the show a little bit later on too.
Not
Not
the
for
right
good things though.
reasons.
But yeah, going back to John's comment about Baker, I think it's over in Tampa after this year.
Yep.
Unless something happens. The only way that it will be salvaged, something's going to happen within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because as of right now, Vita Vea is not going to be there week 1. I guarantee it. And Baker is probably, if Baker doesn't have a contract by week 1, then I think it's over.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my thoughts on the Baker situation. I think Tampa's stupid. The fact that you guys went through all those years of basically being in quarterback purgatory, then you get Brady for a couple years, and you start feeling yourself. You get Super Bowl. Oh man, we're one of the top teams in the NFC. This is nice. The fact that you were privileged to get Baker Mayfield, and the fact that your offensive coordinators and Dave Canales and Liam Cohen were able to basically revive his entire career, and you would still been a pretty consistent playoff team. Granted, yes, it's one of the weaker divisions, and this is how you repay the guy. You deserve to go into a rebuild after this.
John, he's had a couple chances. They have not worked out.
I feel like the NFL is just past Gruden by at this point.
I mean, yes, I get it. His most recent stint with the Raiders, it was not an ideal situation.
Other organization.
Exactly. They were not a very fundamentally sound organization. They also gave him partial ownership, I thought, too, at the time, did they not?
They gave it to Brady. Everyone gets partial ownership of that damn team.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine John Gruden yelling at Baker Mayfield? Oh my God, that would be hard. Not John brought up Hard Knocks earlier on in the comments. Oh, I would love to see that.
Baker, it might not be the team's decision. Baker wants out at this point, it sounds like.
Well, Anthony's saying that he's going to stay. Well, then, Anthony, if that's the case, then why haven't they paid him?
They didn't pay him. The team's headed in a downward trajectory. They don't have anything good going for them, really. They look like they're on the brink of a rebuild. Baker wants to go try and win.
I'll just say this. I have no inside sources.
Baker
I'm just
Mayfield's
saying.
going to be a Falcon.
Where?
By next year. Baker Mayfield's going to be a Falcon by next year.
Hold on. No. Wait. Stefanski and him made the play. You know what? You may be on to something.
The reunion, even though Stefanski's the one who ran him out of the...
No. That was Brown's ownership.
Oh, okay.
Go ask... You're so lucky George isn't here. Oh, my God.
We need George here. I need a Browns fan to get some input from them.
Here are 3 situations when it comes to Baker Mayfield heading into next offseason. Keep an eye on the situation in Atlanta. Let's see how Kyler works out in Minnesota. And also, let's see how high the Steelers are on Drew Aller after Aaron Rodgers retires.
I thought about that. Getting Baker with a coach like McCarthy.
Baker with a coach like McConnell.
Yeah.
And give him a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson. He's telling me how this will look.
Yeah.
So those are the situations that I would monitor next offseason when we're having our free agency shows.
They should have
Anthony,
moved them
they
already.
got the money for Baker right now.
Yeah, they got like no money on their team.
They have the money now, and they don't want to pay either of these guys. I don't know what, unless Tampa just thinks that they've hit their ceiling with this group, which could also be the
I
situation.
really do think I believe that. I feel like the ownership is looking at it like we can't fix this with these players that we currently have. They got to
Because
start almost fresh.
Because even with the group that, let's be fair, let's put the Buccaneers group that they've had since Brady left over the past 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have they been better than the Rams? No. Seattle? No. Philly? No. The Bears have passed them.
Yeah,
The couple teams in the North, actually, the Lions have always been better than them, even though I will say they have played Detroit in the playoffs. They've played them extremely tough. But at the end of the day, they just don't have the talent that Detroit has.
yep.
This is a very interesting division. Like I said, the team that's been the odds-on favorite over the past few years is now on a downward spiral, and then two teams are up and coming, and then there's Atlanta, which I want. I cut. Atlanta's got talent. The problem is the most important position on the field is a question mark. That's
So
the
perfect.
problem.
Bring in Baker next year.
Oh dear. I got nothing. All right, you ready to get this? You ready to put this division on ice and get
do it.
our predictions?
Let's start with Atlanta.
Okay. Let me just get this. Hold on. I'll get it set up for the full record. You have to keep track of the wins and losses, so have fun.
I'll try.
Yeah, John. But again, those are the two players they have to worry about taking care of. And honestly, like Vita Vea I'm not trying to disrespect Baker Mayfield. Vita Vea is another one of the faces of that franchise.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Anthony, I just brought this up like 2 minutes ago. I like that fit. Like I said, the three situations I would monitor with Baker Mayfield heading into next offseason: Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Atlanta. I think those would be the three top fits for Baker if he were to leave Tampa Bay. Those are the spots that I would consider. Because they're all quarterback needy teams. They have plenty of things going for them, but they need quarterbacks. So keep your eyes on Minnesota, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. All right, so we are going to start with the Falcons for this division preview schedule prediction, right? All right. Speaking of which, John, that Washington football program, they've put Anthony, as long as Dak is there, they're never going to get another quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But John, back to what you were saying, that Washington football program, they put out some good players. Vita Vea was a stud at Washington. All right, speaking of Atlanta, let's get into this schedule breakdown now. Falcons open the season week 1 at Pittsburgh.
Loss.
That's a loss. All right, week 2, they're home against Carolina.
Loss.
Early season.
Hey, I guess everyone should be healthy, right? Whoever the starting
I may
quarterback
go win.
is.
I'm leaning toward win here.
All right, we'll give him a win.
Yeah, watch this one. Week 3 at Green Bay.
Loss.
Week 4 at New Orleans.
Loss.
So we have a 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Home versus Baltimore.
Loss.
1-5.
I expect Baltimore to be a lot better next year.
Me too. We just did the AFC North predictions a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So we're at 1-4 through 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Home versus Chicago.
Loss.
Oh dear God.
I see 3 straight home losses right now.
San Francisco too?
Yes.
They are 1-6.
1-6. I don't expect them to beat these bigger name teams, these better teams who seem to have it figured out more.
All right, so now we're going at Tampa Bay.
At Tampa. You know, I feel like since we don't really know what Tampa's end goal is here, coming off of so many losses from the Falcons, I'm going to go win.
Okay, so we got him, 2-6 through 8 weeks?
Yeah.
All right. Home against Cincinnati. This is an international game.
Well, it's going to be an international loss.
I can't remember we had this for the Bengals a few weeks ago.
We had to have had the Bengals winning. If Joe Burrow's healthy, if he's playing. Burrow's playing, they win.
All right, so we're at 2-7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Home versus Kansas City.
Blowout.
You have the Falcons at 2-8 through 10 weeks. All
They
right.
got a pretty
Week
tough
11.
schedule.
Week 11, they have a bye. So week 12, they come back. They're 2-8, and they go to Minnesota. I am leaning win because I still don't know how I feel about the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't either. So I'll give them that. That's 3 wins.
So they're 3-9. No, 3-8.
Something like
3
that.
and 8.
I'm just counting the wins here.
All right. Oh dear God. All right. Home against Detroit.
Loss.
You thought to think about that for a second.
I did. I was thinking. I was like, they're at home.
As if stopped us from having them get smacked around for a while now. So what's our final verdict with Detroit?
Loss.
So how many wins are we at?
3.
3 wins? All right. I like how you're judging this, by the way, so we keep the record consistent. Week 14 at Cleveland. I think they win there.
Yeah, I'll give them a win.
Okay. Week 15 at Washington.
At Washington. Which Washington are we gonna get? We didn't get that Washington that ran through the NFC playoffs.
Maybe Wes Welker puts the pads on. He's playing slot receiver for the Commanders at this point in the season. I just did that to piss off Anthony.
Let's say man. If Anthony's asking, is that the same Dallas or same Commanders defense from last year? It basically is. And they had a very bad defense. So
You lean Atlanta?
Oh wait, is he talking about Atlanta or Washington? I don't know. I'm gonna let you pick this one. Which way are we leaning?
Are you leaning towards Atlanta to win this game?
I was, but I don't know. Either Atlanta's got something figured out by this point, or it's just all downhill tank from here.
That does nothing. What's your verdict?
I'm letting you pick this one. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Atlanta. I'm leaning towards Atlanta. I don't know why.
Right. Give him 5 wins.
All right. Home versus Tampa. We gonna have them sweep Tampa Bay. Where's Tampa win this one?
We'll give Tampa the win.
All right, so that's another loss. We're at 5 wins, right?
5 wins, yep.
All right, then they're home against the Saints.
Loss. If we expect the Saints to be that good this year.
All right, so they lose to the Saints. Last game of the season, they are at Carolina.
Carolina might be playing this game for potential win in the division.
It could be.
I think Carolina wins, and Carolina will be home. Yeah, so we're looking at 5-win Falcons.
So 5-12 on the year.
Man,
Wow.
5-12 in Stefanski's first year. It really is just the quarterback nightmare. We don't know who's going to be the starter, who's going to play more games, who's going to be better.
And I don't know how
I have
much
no
pressure
idea.
they're going to.
Because any of this can change, right? Like, let's say we started out with all them losses. What if after that, whoever the quarterback was starting, they end up benching, then they make the switch, and then they start winning games? I don't know.
Again, it's
Anything can happen.
this. They are such a hard team to judge.
Right now, we're locking in 5-12, though.
All right. John, the Saints, we're both very high on them. They're one of my sleepers in the NFL this year. I think they could be really good this year. Where do you want to go next, Tyler?
Let's go over to. Let's go Tampa.
Oh, boy. Okay, let's head over to them good old Buccaneers. I don't know how I wanted to. This is going to be rough. Oh, so they have them at 6.5. All right, so maybe
All right, we're
not too
not far
far off.
off. Yeah.
All right. Tampa Bay starts week 1 at Cincinnati.
At Cincy, loss.
Okay. All right. Week 2, home against Cleveland. I'll
Win.
take Tampa.
Yeah.
Week 3 versus at home against Minnesota.
Maybe
I'm gonna
Minnesota
take
don't
win.
have figure. Yeah, I don't think Minnesota has
You
it
need
figured
to
out yet.
remember how freaking hot it is in Tampa Bay in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Go ask the Eagles.
I'll go with a win.
All right, so we have the Bucks at 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Home against Green Bay.
Loss.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
And this is probably Green Bay still without Micah Parsons.
Still, I'll take the loss.
Who's getting after the quarterback?
Don't matter. Because
It won't matter.
who's getting after Jordan Love? Relying on the rookie, Ruben Bain?
You named somebody from Tampa before someone from Green Bay, so
The problem with the Packers is they got a lot of people who should have been better than they ended up panning out to be. A lot of underachievers. That's the word I'm looking for.
So where are we at? 1-3?
Yeah. Oh no, we have 2 wins for them.
Oh yeah, 2.
That's why.
2.
That's why I'm just counting the wins.
Okay, so we're 2-2. So wait, is Green Bay a loss?
Yeah, loss for Green Bay.
All right, so they're 2-2. Week 5 at Dallas.
Loss.
2-3. Just stick. You stick with the wins.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at 2 wins through 5 weeks.
Yep.
Week 6, home against Pittsburgh.
I don't know. I expect Pittsburgh to be playing some good football.
I think we probably
We gave
Pittsburgh to win this
the win.
game.
Yeah, I think we picked Pittsburgh to win, so we're going loss.
Okay. At Carolina.
At Carolina. Ugh.
That's a loss, in my opinion.
Yeah, going on the road. Carolina played well last year. Won their division champs.
I think they split with Carolina. That's why
I can see that, yeah. So we're at 2 wins right now.
All right. So home against Atlanta. That's a win.
Win.
At Chicago.
Is blowout an option?
Could be.
I'm going blowout.
All right. So they have a week 10 bye. So how many wins are we at?
3 wins.
At Detroit.
Loss.
Home against Carolina. I say they win this one.
Yeah, 4 wins.
Okay. 4 wins. Home against the Chargers.
Trust the Chargers.
This is such a letdown game for the Chargers. It's not even funny.
I'm gonna give the Bucks a win.
Me too.
5 wins.
At Baltimore. That's a loss.
Loss.
home against the Saints. Do we think they split with New Orleans?
If we think New Orleans is going to be this good this year, I think they sweep them.
So you think the Saints go into Tampa to win that one?
I think they do, just like old times.
Okay, so Saints win that one. Week 16 at Atlanta, I think they sweep the Falcons.
Yeah, me too. 6 wins.
Week 17, home against the Rams. Good luck.
Good luck. Loss. Blowout.
And then,
Maybe they get shut out, actually.
Jesus.
That late in the
And
season, hey, Baker might be checked out by then.
Baker may get checked out by December.
So we're
All
at
right.
6 wins heading into that last game.
And that's at New Orleans at
New
1 o'clock.
Orleans. You know, if New Orleans has their division locked up, they may rest everybody.
You lead in Tampa?
I don't know, but then we made the case when we were doing Atlanta that who was it that what Carolina was going to be playing that last game to hopefully win the division.
I think Carolina's backups could beat Atlanta with their quarterback situation still.
No, but I'm just thinking of it from the terms of, do I think the Saints will need to play their players if Carolina's that close to them at that last week of the season?
I think
they're going to have similar records. So
yeah,
I'm going to lean the Saints winning because they're playing their starters.
Yeah, because let's be real. Just because the Saints are my sleeper team this year, I'm not picking this division to be the greatest.
Yeah. So we're at 6 wins final for Tampa Bay.
So Tampa's going 6-11.
11. Yep.
Let's real quickly get to these comments. John said the Rams might have some injuries toward the end of the year, but they don't have good depth. John, I don't trust Tampa's anything. So
yeah.
Anthony said Tampa's odds are 8.5. We are way under that.
I'll bet the under on that.
All right, Tyler, where do we want to go next?
Let's move over to. Let's go Carolina.
Okay, we're breezing through this. And Anthony, look, any game that we've picked, that could happen.
Yeah.
This is why early season predictions don't mean crap. We're just doing it for the people.
Yep.
All right. Carolina, week 1, home against Chicago. Jesus.
Wow. Well, they're starting off with a loss.
Okay. Week 2 at Atlanta. I think we picked the Panthers to win this game. Week 3 at Cleveland.
Win.
All right, so they're 2-1.
Build some momentum at home or on the road, actually.
All right. Week 4, home against Detroit. Sunday Night Football.
Why do I feel like they could upset them?
I'm there with you. I still like Detroit. I don't love them this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same Panthers team that knocked off the Rams last year in the regular season, too.
Almost into the playoffs.
Yeah. So I'll go win. 3 wins.
Okay. Oh, I hate the week 5 bye week. That's way too early. All right. Week 6, they're at Philly. I think Philly wins that game. That's the humble moment.
Mm-hmm.
Week 7 versus Tampa. I think they win.
Yeah, home against Tampa. I'll give them a win. 4 wins.
All right, so we're at 4. Week 8 at Green Bay.
Loss. I don't like that.
Micah should be back by then.
Yeah. And I think I get Micah is a game changer for their defense. They're still going to move the ball offensively enough.
Not only that, Monroe Freeling, welcome to the NFL. Here's Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so through 8 weeks, where are we at win-wise?
4 wins.
So we're 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, week 9, home against Denver.
Yikes. I don't know if home field's saving them. What are you thinking on this one? I
I
don't think
don't
I can
like it.
have the Panthers beating the Broncos. They're in that upper echelon of teams.
I agree. So I have Denver winning this game.
Yep. Still at 4 wins.
Okay, so where are we at? 4-4.
Yep.
All right, so here's the part of the schedule that gets a little murky. Then they're at New Orleans. I think they split with New Orleans,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have New. I think they're gonna split the home game, so I have New Orleans winning this game.
Yep.
Then they're home against Baltimore. I may have Baltimore. I think we have Baltimore winning this game.
Yeah. We have Baltimore winning a lot of games.
Damn, what do we have? 4-6.
Yeah. I
All
think we'll
right.
pick back up though. Stay hopeful.
Here's where it gets interesting. At Tampa, that's a win.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
we
there's
have a
win
sweeping
5.
Tampa.
Yep. At Minnesota. Still not sold on Minnesota, so I'm going to win again.
Yeah. I'll go win. 6 wins.
Home against the Saints. This is where I think they beat the Saints.
Yep. So up to 7.
Home against the Bengals.
Home against the Bengals.
I'm going to go win here because of the. I hear me out. Let's go win here. I think they could do it.
Because a certain quarterback might not be playing.
Maybe.
Okay. We'll go win.
Where are we at?
I think that's 8.
Damn, we got 8.
Climbed all the way up, yeah.
At Pittsburgh, that's a loss.
Yeah, that's a loss.
Home against Seattle. They're home versus Seattle. That's a loss. And then home against Atlanta, they win.
Yeah. So 9 wins.
9-8.
Kind of similar territory on the plus side of 500. Last year they finished 8-9. So, okay.
All right, now let's go over to them Saints.
All right. We saved what we think the most promising for last. We still got a pretty tough schedule, though. It's not a walk in the park.
Oh, no, without a doubt. Week 1. And the Panthers odds are 6.5, so we're above.
Okay.
Well, and I'm fine with that. I'm higher on Carolina than I am Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I don't like that it's that low. For them just winning their division in a 3-way tie last year.
That's how bad this division is.
True. They could win it. It's 7 wins.
All right, week 1, we have. Oh my God, okay. Week 1, they're at Detroit.
Back-to-back losses.
I think New Orleans opens up the season with a win.
You think they do? You think they go into Detroit and they get the upset?
Yes.
All right. I'll give you. All right.
I'll give you the week 2 loss in Baltimore. That one's a loss, I think.
Okay. So, all right, 1-1.
Week 3, home opener against Vegas. They're not losing their home opener to Vegas.
Nah, they're not. Vegas isn't going to be there yet.
Oh, Anthony, I know they are, but I still am very high on their offensive production from their pass catchers, and I still think Carolina's defense has improved, even though Nick Scorton won't be there.
Yeah.
9 wins is fair for the Panthers at this current stage. All right, so we have the Saints at 2, and here we go. Versus at home against Atlanta, win. Home against Minnesota. I'm going win. I'm not high on I'm still not sold on the Vikings yet.
4 wins.
At the Giants. I think they win. I think they win.
You know what? Yeah, I don't think the Giants are going to be that great yet without Neighbors.
Well, Neighbors is on track to be ready for week 1.
Really? Wow.
Sorry?
All right, so we're at, 5 wins?
Yes.
Wow. Hold on, 5-1? Is that where we're at right now? 5-1 Saints. Oh my gosh.
Well, hold on. Then they go home against Pittsburgh. I think they lose that game.
Yeah.
Then they go by week 8. They open up at home against Cleveland. I think they win.
They'll win. 6 wins.
Then they play Carolina. This is the game we had the Saints winning. So this is 7.
Yep, 7.
Then they go at Chicago. I think they'll probably lose there.
Yeah, I can see it.
So what are we at win total through 11 weeks?
7.
Jesus. At Cincinnati.
I think they lose to Cincy.
Okay.
I'm hoping Burrow has a healthy year this year, and if he does, I think they made their defense a little bit better. I'm hoping they can win some games.
Okay. So you'll go Cincy there. Home against Green Bay.
This could be a good game.
I'm going to stick to Green Bay, though.
Okay.
Then they go at Carolina. That's the game we had them losing.
Yep. So they're still at 7. They're falling.
No, they're not. At Tampa Bay.
Did we give them the win, or did we have them splitting with Tampa?
I think we had them. I think we had Tampa got swept by them.
You're right. You're right. We only had them
So
splitting
win.
with the Panthers.
Yes. So they win at Tampa. Home against Arizona. Stop.
Blowout.
At Atlanta. I think they win there.
So we're looking at 10 wins.
And then they finish the year versus Tampa at home. I think they play their starters, and I think they win 11. And they will still need to play their players to get that division locked up.
Yeah.
So we have 11-5 for the Saints.
Wow. Or wait, 11-6, right?
11-6. I forget damn freaking extra game.
Going back in time.
Back to a simpler time. Wow.
Wow. 11-6 Saints. Reclaiming the NFC South.
I don't hate that. I'm high on the Saints this year, man. I really am. And Anthony, I'll definitely take the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over for them. They got a lot of building pieces.
They do. Now, as we know, back about a month ago, the ESPN decided to start revealing their top 10 position players at each position and all that stuff.
Mhm.
We do our own little thing here at 609, but we don't do it position by position. We do quarterbacks, running backs, wide receiver duos, tight ends, and of course, we will have defense. We're going to kick off with defenses. Hey, John, that's funny. We had Arizona going 2-15 too in our NFC West predictions set.
Yep. They're going to stink.
All right, Tyler. Top 10 defenses. Our personal top 10 list for the 2026 season. Who wants to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay. All right, kids.
Say
Kick
that
back and
your
relax.
list sucks.
Of course it does. All right. Is this my list? I forget who was it. Yes. All right. So here are my top 10 defenses for 2026. At number 10, I have the Cleveland Browns. They were a lot higher on this list probably last year in most people's eyes. Of course, you did lose Myles Garrett, so that does suck. Losing Jim Schwartz also is a big loss as well. However, I am still very high on the Browns and their talent. I think Jared Verse is going to be fine there. I think Mason Graham's going to have a big second year. I think Carson Schlesinger is going to be very good again in his sophomore year. Still have Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit. You drafted Emmanuel McNeil Warren in the second round, the kid out of Toledo. I am still very high on this Browns defense because of all the young and upcoming talent that they do have. At number 9, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I still think I have said on the show about 3 times already, I'm not sold on the Vikings yet. That is strictly from a quarterback standpoint. I still am very high on that defense. I will take any unit led by Brian Flores. He always has his defenses ready to play every given Sunday. Still have a very solid core group there. So I have the Vikings at number 9. At number 8, I have the Baltimore Ravens. I think Jesse Minter going there is going to revitalize what we know to be the dominant Ravens defense of old. Matabike is back practicing, so that's a big addition for them. They bring in Trey Hendrickson to bring in some pass rush help. They bring in Hawkins at safety. I think they're going to have him and Starks play that that deep safety duo and have Hamilton moving all over. Their corners are still very good. D-line, I think, is improved. Roquan Smith still commanding the middle at linebacker. Ravens number 8. Number 7, I still have the Chargers. I do understand losing Jesse Minter is very, very huge, and I think it's going to hurt them in some
Mhm.
ways, but however, in others, I still like the talent on that Chargers defense. You still have Derwin James, one of the most versatile weapons in a secondary that you can find. So I think they still have a very good core group led by him. They also have Tuli Pelotu off the edge, who's coming off a
Oh
very
yeah,
strong year. So, and they still have old, reliable Khalil Mack still giving people the business all these years later.
it's hard to find a good pass rusher.
It is hard to find a good pass rusher. And I mean, Tuli Pelotu's coming off. Like I said, I brought him up a second ago. He had 13 sacks last year.
Yeah, he's had an insane year over year with the Chargers since they drafted him.
And not to mention, still have Dante Jackson in that secondary. He had 4 interceptions last year for the Chargers. Really played well in that outside corner spot for them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still high on this team's talent on the defensive side. Like I said, Minter leaving, I think that hurts them a little bit. But I'm still gonna ride with this Chargers team. I think that they still have a very solid defense, and they also added Dalvin Tomlinson to play some nose tackle, which is also you need to stop the
Yep.
run in this league.
Yep.
At number 6, I have the Patriots. I thought the Patriots defense last year was way better than people gave them credit for.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we said, I believe we said it last week during the AFC East preview. As bad as their offense was in the playoffs, they went up against Jesse Minter's Chargers defense, the Houston Texans defense, the Denver Broncos defense, and the Seattle Seahawks defense, and the Patriots defense matched them play for play, drive for drive in almost every single one of those games. That defense was the biggest reason they got to the Super Bowl last year. And in my opinion, this offseason, they got better.
Yeah,
You
they did.
you bring Kevin Byard over, who led the league in interceptions last year. That's going to help. They signed Draymond Jones, who will basically replace Kalavian Chason. And Chason was fine for them last year, but he's a pass rush specialist. You
Mm-hmm.
look at the way Draymond Jones can defend off the edge and against the run. I think that upgrades opposite of Harold Landry. You still got Milton Williams at the defensive tackle. Still have a bunch of talent. Robert Spillane at middle linebacker. I like the Patriots at number 6. At number 5, I got Broncos country. Let's ride that defense to another AFC title game. Why don't we? Still have some of the best pass rushes in the game. Nick Bonito, awesome year last year. Jonathan Cooper, as long as he's on the football field, opposite of Bonito, I'm still high on it. Still led by the best corner in football, Pat Surtain. Is a couple areas in that secondary that I think are a little weaker than some others around the league. So I still think they'll have some issues outside of throwing to Surtain. Also, maybe have some small issues here and there against the run, but I still like Denver at number 5. That pass rush and that defensive line led by Bonito, Cooper, and Zach Allen. Lethal. Best in the league. Number 4, how do you not pick the damn Rams? I mean, I know some people may say I have the Rams too low. Here's the thing. The talent level alone gets them to number 4. McDuffie, Garrett, Turner, Byron Young, all these guys, Quentin Lake. On paper, this could be the best defense in the league. However, I like to see it on the football field before I put you in my top 3. So that's why I have the Rams at 4. I think they're slightly better right now than Denver. At number 3, I, of course, have Vic Fangio in the Philadelphia Eagles. That defense has done nothing but been the best in the league over the past 2 years. If we remember what they did in the Super Bowl, that's awesome. But if you remember what they did last year, how many games this offense could not score points in the second half. Hell, we couldn't complete a pass in the second half.
Yep.
This defense was always answering the call. This defense easily won 5 games by itself last year. Led in that middle by Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ajomo. You add Reek Woolen to replace Adoree Jackson, which, no offense, Adoree wasn't terrible last year, but Reek Woolen is a true upgrade opposite of Quinyon Mitchell with Cooper DeJean. You bring in Jonathan Grenard to give you that consistent, steady edge rusher, along with Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith. I do understand that Grenard's still on the PUP list with a pec injury, but it looks like he is on track to play week 1. And, of course, you still have Zach Bond and now second-year player Jahad Campbell at the middle linebacker spot. I'm really high on this Eagles defense heading into this year. Got them in number 3. Number 2, I do have John Seattle Seahawks there. This is the defense that won the whole damn thing last year. Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy up the middle, dominating like always. That secondary, what Mike McDonald could do with that secondary and all that versatility. Nick Emanwari, Witherspoon, you got so much. You got so much in that secondary that Josh Jobe, Love, they've got so much talent still.
They do.
So I got the Seahawks coming in at number 2. But at number 1, I do have the Houston Texans. I think this is the best team defense in the league. And no disrespect to Seattle, Philly, the Rams, Denver. Will Anderson is just getting better and better. Him and Daniil Hunter, the best pass rush duo in the league. They just get after the quarterback.
Yeah,
now they have a third, and not to mention, now they have a third body to keep them fresh. And Jadeveon Clowney, who's coming off an 8.5 sack season, so that's going to help them out a lot. They brought in Caden McDonald to be basically their new D tackle in the middle of it all. The one thing the Texans defense tended to struggle with was against the run, but now they got big Caden in the middle there. That's going to help them a lot. And that secondary, man, Petrie, Lassiter, Stingley, adding Bullock, adding Reed Blankenship. So many weapons in that secondary. This defense does the 2 best things in the league that you can. You get after the quarterback, and you take the football away. So that is my top 10. In order, I have at 10 Cleveland, 9 Vikings, 8 Ravens, 7 Chargers, 6 Patriots, Broncos at 5, Rams at 4, Philly at 3, Seattle at 2, Houston at 1.
You know what, Sam? I think for the first time ever, I'm not going to say your list sucks. Your list was pretty solid. I agree with John. And the reason I have to say that is because our list shares a lot of similarities and resemblances. At least within the first 6 teams.
Yep, let's just catch up with the comments, and then I will pop your list on and I will give you the floor. Oh, and John, I think their Patriots defense was good throughout the entire postseason. They don't get to the Super Bowl without it.
Nope.
Anthony says, so Anthony, what would you switch up on my top 5? I don't, and look, whatever that's your opinion. That's where I was at with my top 5. John, Aaron Donald doesn't need to come back. He doesn't, please.
You saw the some of the clips of them practicing, right?
Yeah. And John, I agree with that with Reek Woolen. If he cleans up some of the stupid mental things that he does, he'll be fine here. But again, 6'4" corner with a 4.2 speed, I'll take that all day and twice on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Anthony, that would just be unfair.
That would always be unfair. But all right, Mr. Adams. I didn't talk about Samuel Adams, the beer. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Sammy Cakes. So, we got the Chiefs coming in at number 10. I mean, last year, they had a very quietly good year. Spagnuolo's had this defensive unit playing good for a few years now. And last year, they only allowed 19 points per game on average, 301 total yards. They were stingy. And of course, it took, Patrick Mahomes getting hurt for the remainder of the season, and that's really what kind of took the team out of any contention as a whole. Yes, I get they had some departures, but I do love the draft of Mansour Delane. They brought back L'Jarius Sneed, so a little reunion there. And I think they're all going to play very well together. I still like their pass rush group. It's good enough, and they all elevate each other. They don't have any that just really stand out to you, but they all play well as a unit. So I don't have any doubts that a defensive coordinator like Steve Spagnuolo is not going to have this team playing well defensively. Coming in at number 9, I have Baltimore Ravens. Maybe kind of low. but I had to temper some of the expectations because of how poor of a year they had last year. Like you said again, Sam, hopefully with Jesse Minter coming back in the picture, hopefully we see a big step forward for their defense.
I'm high on it.
And last year, I honestly don't know how they played so poorly last year. And John, I think you're referencing maybe the Chiefs. Their cornerbacks are gone because the Ravens got everybody. They got Nate Wiggins, Chidobe Awuzie, Marlon Humphrey, safeties Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, brought in Trey Hendrickson, got Roquan Smith commanding the middle of that defense. Matabike is healthy, back in practice, like you said. Calais Campbell, all reliable himself. I
I
mean,
forgot Calais Campbell went back there.
yeah, he's still there. He's still going. I mean, and then you still have Mike Green coming into year two, whatever you can get out of him. Last year as a rookie, 3.5 sacks. So definitely things are on the up for this Ravens defense. And the NFL is just better with the dominant Ravens defense. That's what we love to see. Coming in at number 8, I feel like it's the team that I always complain about their defense. But I have it was not easy finding these bottom 4 teams to put in the top 10. There's a lot
Our
of
bottom
teams where you
four.
can there's a lot of teams where you can nitpick certain things and put them in, and then same thing to take them out. But I'm looking at the fact that on paper they have a very good pass rush group. They can get after the quarterback. They went out, they brought Bradley Chubb in. They've got at their corners Christian Benford. He's a very good corner. Maxwell Hairston's a very good cornerback too. You got the veteran. Um, what do I want to call him? We'll call him the mouthpiece of the locker room, and C.J. Garner Johnson. That safety, you got Cole Bishop, Geno Stone. They brought in very good group there. So I almost bumped the Bills out of the top 10 for the sake of parting ways with McDermott. But
Wouldn't
ultimately,
agree with him.
yeah, I still wanted to put them in here and include them because last year they didn't have the worst year defensively. I mean, they held teams to about 293 yards per game. I mean, that was up there and, tops of the league. It was about like 8th or ninth. So that's what I feel about Buffalo. Then we go over to Minnesota. Minnesota had an amazing year last year, defensively at least. The struggles on offense, as we all know, that's really what killed it for them. But they only gave up about 282 yards per game, just a little under 20 points per game that they allowed. And I really think that this defensive unit, like you said, Brian Flores, he's always going to have him coach good. And they got so many good role players on that defense. Again, another defense that you don't have the superstars that stand out to you, but they all play well as a unit. Coming in at number 6, we have the New England Patriots. I contemplated if it was a little too low having them at number 6, but when I took a look at my top 5 again, I knew that's exactly where they needed to be. Patriots had a great defense last year. They were dominant throughout the entire season, including the postseason as well. Their offense fell apart a little bit at the end. It is what it is. This defensive unit didn't have a whole lot of turnover. Most of the guys are returning. They're going to get after the quarterback. They're going to defend. And I think this team, they probably have a good chance of creeping their way into the top 5 at some point throughout the year. Now we get into the top 5. this might be a little low for the Los Angeles Rams. I started off having the Rams as high as number 2. Then I had them at number 3. And then ultimately had to drop them down to 5 because I still couldn't put them over the Eagles. The Rams, for me, on paper, they have the best defense, no weak points at all. Still had to take some of last year's play into account. But I get it. They saw the weaknesses. Our corners suck. What do? You go out and replace them both. They thought that they couldn't get after the quarterback enough as it was, so they went out and traded for the best defensive player that we've seen this generation. And if they ultimately have Aaron Donald come out of retirement, they will immediately shoot up to, I would say, the number 2 spot out of generosity for Houston. But the Rams have such a high ceiling with that defensive unit, but who knows if they all play well together. We got to see how the chemistry of the team goes. We don't know yet.
Everything looks good on paper.
Exactly. It all looks good on paper. We've said that about a lot of teams.
Agreed.
Now coming in at number 4. How could I do this to our Philadelphia Eagles? Number 4.
Hey, it's generous.
Well, yeah. And guess what? Any of these teams that are in the top 5, you got a top 5 defense, you're most likely one of the best teams in the NFL. So number 4, yes, throughout the season, they could probably change from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything can happen. But this team, on the field and on the piece of paper, a Vic Fangio unit is not going to let you down. And not one that has one of the up-and-coming generational talents in Jalen Carter, is fellow Bulldog Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo playing for his big contract, Nolan Smith, who's also trying to play for a contract, Jonathan Grenard, who just got a big contract, King Bond in the middle, Jihad Campbell looking
King Bond.
King Bond.
Okay,
that is his
I like
name.
that.
King Bond. Jihad Campbell looking to build off of a solid rookie campaign, but ultimately had to play second fiddle to Nakobe Dean because Nakobe Dean's a beast. And then they go and they bring in Reek Woolen to put next to Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, as if they already weren't lethal enough. And then as far as Marcus Epps and Andrew Makuba go, good luck getting the ball downfield to them. They might just pick you off.
By the way, I don't want to bring out too much of what we're going to talk about on Friday on Birds. Keep an eye on Michael Carter. They said he's been making that transition to safety.
I've heard him making strides as well throughout camp so far. He might come for that job.
Who knows?
So, going into number 3. No disrespect to the Super Bowl champs. I got the Seattle Seahawks. Again, great unit. They're going to be top 5 easily this year, yet again. Yeah, they lost Reek Woolen. It didn't matter. Still got Devin Witherspoon, Josh Jobe. Still got all your pass rushers, Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, DeMarcus Lawrence. They even got Dante Fowler as a rotational rusher. Like, are we okay? What are we doing here? Nick Emmanuel, he's just all over the field. He's a complete nightmare for offensive coordinators. And then Julian Love and Ty Okada. This is another one of the strongest defensive units on paper and on the field. there is no question mark or asterisk to put next to them like you can for the Rams right now. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And not to mention, they went and drafted Bud Clark out of TCU in the second round, too. So he's just waiting to get some playing time on the field.
Still got
Moving
a lot
on.
of weapons in that
They
secondary.
do. Moving on to number 2. I had to pay some respects to the Denver Broncos. I did have them a little lower on my earlier drafts of this top 10 list, but ultimately, how could you argue against Zach Allen, Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, Hafunga at safety, Pat Surtain? I mean, they're just such a lockdown defensive unit. Last year, they held offenses to 278 total yards, 18 points per game on average. I don't see how they don't replicate that or have an even better year this year. They talk about a very, very stingy defense. They barely allowed teams to move the football consistently. And coming into number 1, Sam, I think you said just about everything. Houston Texans. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Jadeveon Clowney. That's just not fair. And not to mention, you got Henry To'oTo'o. He's a solid rotational guy there as well. Azeez Al-Shaair in the middle, one of the better middle linebackers in the league. Derek Stingley, top 5 corner in the league. Brought in Reed Blankenship. Me and you, we both have gave our praises for Reed and how far he's come. What's up, Dennis? Oh, man. Kalen Bullock, Kamari Lassiter, Jalen Petrie. I mean, top to bottom, it's hard to find a weak point for this Houston Texans defense. I would say the only weak point is the fact that C.J. Stroud's probably going to make them play on the field longer. That's the only weak point.
Going to say the same thing. The biggest weakness of this defense is it's going to be on the field too much because the damn offense is anemic. I was going to say the same thing.
Yep. But regardless, I mean, this defensive unit's going to be absolutely insane.
All right. Very well put together, Tyler. Very good. To catch up on these comments real quickly, then we'll just dive into one little bit of NFL news, and then we'll call it a night because it is past that. We are over the 2-hour mark again. John's got a lot of comments here saying, back to when we were talking about the Patriots, Gonzalez was the man. Christian Gonzalez, they better get that deal done quick.
Yeah.
John also said he will say it again. Aaron Donald will be back. No, please don't. John, stop speaking it into existence, please. He called the Rams the paper tigers.
Yeah, everything on paper looks good.
Back to when you're talking about the Eagles, he did say that Reek Woolen he does have good speed. And a corner at that height with that speed next to Quinyon, I'm high on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see this.
John, pending whatever the outcome of those charges are, he's going to have to go through some legal proceedings before any teams touch him.
Yeah. I wouldn't go near Terran Arnold right now.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. So let's get into some stuff that happened. Of course, last Tuesday, after Unbiased went off the air on Monday night, Bijan Robinson became the highest paid running back in NFL history for about, 2 days?
2 days, yeah.
He got a 3-year extension that could go up to it could be worth up to $75 million, and it has $51 million guaranteed, including $37 million of it at signing. Meanwhile, a few days later, Jahmyr Gibbs became the highest paid running back in football, inking a 3-year, $67.5 million deal, but his deal can be worth up to $75.75 million. That includes $51.5 million guaranteed, which now makes him the highest paid running back in the NFL. And outside of those two as well, Jonathan Taylor inked a 2-year, $44 million extension that could be worth up to $47 million, with $39 million guaranteed from the Colts, which becomes the largest third contract a running back has ever received.
They should all thank Saquon Barkley.
I am very happy to see the running back position being valued again in the NFL, because this running backs, to me, it's been ever since DeMarco Murray, right? It's been ever you could put, because remember after the Cowboys got rid of Murray, came to the Eagles, then they signed Darren McFadden, and McFadden had like 1,200 yards. I feel like ever since that year, running backs have been so undervalued from a talent perspective. Those are three of the top. If your top five in the running backs list came out today, those three are in the top five, and ain't none of them five.
Yeah.
I am happy. And it doesn't just go back to Saquon Barkley. The Ravens paid Derrick Henry the same offseason.
True.
The Bears paid DeAndre Swift that same offseason. I am happy that we are seeing the Chiefs with Kenneth Walker. I am happy to see running backs being valued again. I don't know what your thoughts.
They're very important parts of a team. I mean, for a while, most teams viewed them as, disposable assets. You draft them, use them for a few years, on to the next one. But some of these guys show how valuable they are, from Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, being the biggest part in the team's run to that Super Bowl and winning it. So, yeah, it's great to see these running backs starting to get valued by their teams again, getting these extensions on their contracts, and not just being, we got them for 3 or 4 years and then whatever, we're not paying them, we'll just find another one.
Yeah, because there's not going to be another Christian McCaffrey.
Nope.
There's not going to be another Bijan Robinson.
Oh.
And you can make the case here, like, the Falcons, I know we just had them with 5-6 wins. Probably all those wins are going to come because of Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, they'll probably have over 200 rushing yards.
Jonathan Taylor has been the face of the Colts for the past 6 years. The Colts have been going through an identity crisis ever since Andrew Luck retired all those years ago. Jonathan Taylor has been one of the best players he's been one of the top 10 greatest players in Colts history. He's been the face of that team since Andrew Luck retired. He deserves to get the highest third contract ever by a running back. And Jahmyr Gibbs, all right, some people are saying, well, what kind of year are we getting from Gibbs now that Montgomery's not there to keep him fresh? You're still going to get a pretty dang good running back.
Gibbs was never the running back who benefited just because of who he played next to.
Yeah.
Gibbs is an elite playmaker and can change the pace of a game in an instant. Defenses can try to lock in on him as much as they want, but he can beat you multiple ways. He is not one-sided. He is not just run up the middle, run to the outside. He'll do everything. He'll run out wide. He'll line up out wide. He'll run up the middle. He'll run on the outside of the tackles. He can do it all.
Exactly. And Bijan's easily the best running back in football.
Yeah.
Make your case for whoever you want. That's my opinion. But again, it can go either way.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see that the running back position has officially been valued again. It's good to see these guys get their paydays. They're all going to be important parts of their team's success, and they are paving the way for running backs of the future to get paid. And it's good to see that we are no longer cycling out running backs like they're just nothing. And John, that's the thing. They do take a beating. And that's why they should be worth everything that they get. And John, I also agree with you on this point as well. That we are in the wrong business. So, speaking of that, and speaking of which, we have a new commenter. We got a big Mahomes fan in the chat.
What's going on? Welcome.
67. Thank God it's not two numbers up. But hey, hey, look, you're Chiefs fan. You're coming in here. You guys just signed Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker's going to have a very big year.
Hmm.
Hey, that's always a good comment. That's always a good comment on this show.
Oh yeah.
I love the name though. Patrick Mahomes 67. That's awesome. Well, of course, thank you for coming out to check the show. Oh my God. Thanks for checking the show out. Thanks for throwing some comments in. And hey, if you can, hit that subscribe button over on the YouTube side. Appreciate all you guys throwing in your comments tonight. This has been a good show. But again, I'm just happy to see the running back position get its value back. These players are just as important as anything else on a football field. Like you said, Saquon Barkley, what he did in 2024. Christian McCaffrey, what he did for the 49ers last year, getting into 11 wins. He was a big part of that, especially with Purdy being banged up. So, definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate the support you guys continue to give us. Love getting our new commenters in. Love getting our new commenters in every day. Hey, we can we could definitely agree on that.
Definitely agree with that.
Hey, John, thank you so much for the kind words, man. We appreciate it. You guys, but here's the thing, right? We get it, and we appreciate all the kind words. We don't do this without you guys. We don't get none of this love, none of this support without all of our great fans and all the great people who comment on these shows. We are here for you guys, and we love every single one of you. And we thank you guys always for your continued support. And we love when we see our newer subscribers come back. Like, John, we met you a few weeks ago when we did our NFC West preview. You're back here again. We always appreciate all of our loyal subscribers coming back into the chat and making a show like this awesome. I don't want to remember CMC a quarterback because he threw a damn touchdown pass last year against us in the playoffs.
I like to remember the CMC at quarterback because they had no other quarterback when we whooped them up and down the field. And what was that, the NFC Championship game?
Oh, yeah, the 2022 NFC title game. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Tyler, anything else you want to talk about?
That's about it. Except going off the chat, go Birds, F them Cowboys.
Hey, man. It's almost that time of year, guys. We are a month away from regular season football. Just remember that.
Oh, yeah.
With that being said, though, we are going to wrap up tonight's episode of Unbiased. We had an absolute blast talking to you guys tonight. This was a fun show. Thank you, everybody who commented on the Facebook side, but a big thank you to everybody who blew up the YouTube chat. Of course, Anthony and Zolt, you guys are always the mainstays, always coming back in the chat. John, you threw out so many incredible comments tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Orlando was even on the YouTube side. I'm going to have to take a few weeks to get used to that because I'm used to him commenting on Facebook, but we appreciate you guys. And Patrick Mahomes 67, thank you for being a new commenter. Hope to see you in the chat more and more. Thank you for subscribing throughout during the show. We greatly appreciate it. There was a lot of that when McCaffrey was at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna leave this comment on the chat right on before we call it a night because John, once again, thank you for the kind words. Greatly appreciate everybody who commented in tonight on the YouTube side. Made the show awesome tonight. Just a little schedule for this week, guys. We have DA After Dark live again tomorrow night. I believe we are continuing our fantasy football preview for the season. We did a whole fantasy football preview last week. I believe we're doing a part 2 tomorrow night. So we'll keep you posted on that. But I think George said that's what we're going to aim for. Hitting home, our baseball show is off for the week. Dustin and I will be back next week to get back into the baseball swing of things, literally. And of course, we got Birds of the Gridiron on Friday to talk some more Eagles football. So that'll be a very, very fun time. So, guys, thank you everybody who commented in tonight. I see this chat is still going. This is awesome. First preseason game for the Seahawks at Cowgirls. Good, John. Beat them for me. So, thank you everybody once again. Thank you, Pat Mahomes 67. We appreciate that comment.
Thank you.
And hope to see you in the chat more and more. So, guys, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Have a great rest of your Monday. DA After Dark live tomorrow night. We'll be talking some fantasy football over there. And, of course, like I said, Birds of the Gridiron. Friday at 8, we're talking some sophomore season for the Philadelphia Eagles, the young players. And, of course, some more stuff around the Eagles training camp. So, guys, have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Have a good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?